I'm resting on your booster seat. You didn't hear it. Did you hear that? I said I'm resting on your booster seat. You normally that's not what That's embarrassing.
This week I wanted to talk about the learning disability, as it's the learning disability week, of how my learning disability affects me on in everyday life and at school.
That didn't make sense.
Did it not?
No.
This week I wanted to talk about how my learning disability has affected my school years and how it affects me on a day-to-day basis, as this week is National Learning Disability Week.
Yes. So, as you all know by now, Lauren has TS, and it's made up of 4 main things, which is tumours in the body, which we've already touched on in the previous video, epilepsy, which we've already covered, behaviour problems. Lauren's behaviour is awful, so we're gonna avoid that video. And learning difficulties, which is obviously what we're talking about this week.
Before I was diagnosed, I showed some autistic traits of where I used to line objects up that I used to play with.
Or before you played with them.
Yeah, before I played with them, basically. That
So,
Mum and Dad first noticed there was something wrong.
It's really funny when you say it like that.
I was diagnosed at 3.5 with TS, which generated further appointments in hospital. And then where they found out.
What are you trying to say, Lozzie?
The TS.
What is it? What is it? What are you trying to say? Got diagnosed with TS, but like I said, TS comes as 4 parts. So when they knew you had TS, you started getting tested for epilepsy and things like that, didn't you? Yeah. Is that what you're trying to say?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then I retook year 1 because I wasn't hitting my milestones like all the rest of my classmates.
And Lauren had a speech and language therapist from reception throughout primary school. And in year 5, she did her first ever presentation, stand-up presentation in front of her class, which I think is a big thing anyway, because presentations are scary as hell. But for Lauren to have come so far it was like a big, it was a significant part, wasn't it, of your development with your learning difficulties and disability.
Yeah. I received one-to-one support throughout education from primary to college, and so as the years at secondary went on, so the TA stepped back a bit into the back of the class, and if I wanted any help, that I just put my hand up.
And then we thought we'd just touch on how it affects Lauren in her everyday life, because obviously that's all to do with how it affected her in school. But things like if when Lauren gets emails or a letter, she usually misinterprets it. So she'll take it, maybe read it the wrong way, or take something that's not that serious and read it really seriously, and then get herself a little bit worked up. So we'll then take the letter off of her and break it down for her and tell her what it actually means.
I often struggle with too many instructions.
Yeah. And as well, delayed speech, which is definitely something that affects you in your daily life, especially because you have to live with me. Because I mean, I do it all the time. Like I do it in the videos every time. So it takes Lauren sometimes a while to get out her like first words, and I'm really bad for just jumping in and talking to fill the space. But because Lauren's my sister, I don't really like. It's different, isn't it, when it's your sibling? But we just have to be more patient with Lauren sometimes if we're trying to ask her about something. Okay, this is a really sudden ending, but that was the end of the vlog. So, thank you for watching.
I hope you all enjoyed the vlog this week, and thank you all for watching.
Yeah, and hopefully see you next week.
Yeah.
Try and get back on it with the vlogs.
Yeah.
Cool. Thank you for watching.
Thank
Bye.
you. Bye. What is it?
You've got it.